Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about neonatal respiratory distress syndrome. Fine. So which is commonly called as NRDS. ARDS is adult respiratory distress syndrome, but today we are going to concentrate about neonatal respiratory distress syndrome. So what do you know about neonatal respiratory distress syndrome? First thing which you need to know is this usually happens in preterm individuals. So what happens in preterm individuals? Preterm individuals, ideally the lung maturation is supposed to happen at the end of the weeks, end of the gestational age. But in preterm, that is when they are less than 37 weeks, the surfactant will not be formed adequately. So therefore, those individuals will be presenting with neonatal respiratory distress. So let's come again. So what is not formed? Surfactant is not formed adequately. So what produces the surfactant? The surfactant is produced from the lung per se. There are two types of cells in the alveoli. So you are having trachea, bronchioles, just a simplified version of the lung. So you have alveoli. So in the alveoli there will be two types of cells. One is type 1 pneumocytes and the other one is type 2 pneumocytes. So what is the role of type 1 and type 2 pneumocytes? Type 1 pneumocytes will be a simple squamous epithelium. So they are those which is responsible for oxygen exchange. Fine. On the other hand, type 2 pneumocytes, if you see, they have two most important roles. One is they will be producing the surfactant and the other one is they will be functioning as a stem cells. So stem cells for what? In case type 1 pneumocytes are damaged due to any reason, they can produce type 1 pneumocytes. In addition to it, they will also be producing surfactant. This is the type 2 pneumocytes. Okay. So this is surfactant which is normally produced by the type 2 pneumocytes is not adequately produced when the baby is preterm. This is the main reason for the neonatal respiratory distress syndrome. Just to go into further, what happens in type 2 pneumocytes? In type 2 pneumocytes, we have a lamellar body inside it. So that lamellar body is missing. That lamellar body is problematic, or that is the issue in neonatal respiratory distress syndrome or else in preterm individuals. So now let's see, how are we going to treat the individuals? So as soon as a baby is born, we are not supposed to give, don't make this mistake in exams and in practicals. We are not supposed to give them surfactant. We are first supposed to give them a tactile stimulation, place it under warmth, that is a light, and then start with oxygen or else a surfactant therapy. This is how the neonatal respiratory distress syndrome is treated. An allied condition which you have to know, and more importantly, if you see in X-ray, a chest X-ray of this neonate, there will be reticulogranular pattern. This is definitely, when they are giving about a case about neonatal respiratory distress syndrome, somewhere they will be including this term in the exams. There will be a reticulogranular pattern in a chest X-ray. Fine. Okay. Now let's go on to a similar topic, a topic similar to this, but which happens in a term individuals. So that is known as transient tachypnea of newborn. So what it is commonly known as transient tachypnea of newborn, which is the TTN. So what happens in this? Ideally, when a child is born, it is supposed to be born from the by vagina. So when the baby comes through the vaginal wall, all the fluid which is present in the lungs will be squeezed and it will enter into the respective lymphatics. But in case where there is a rapid vaginal delivery or when there is a cesarean section, then the chances that the fluid, most commonly this is seen in cesarean section. Okay. So the chances that this fluid entering into the lymphatics is less. So the fluid stays within the lungs. So when it stays within the lungs, what happens? It results in this condition known as transient tachypnea of newborn. Okay. So in this condition, you will have a chest X-ray since the fluid is present, right? So the chest X-ray finding will be such that there will be fluid in the lung fissures. This is how the question will be present for transient tachypnea of newborn. And another important differentiating feature between transient tachypnea of newborn and NRDS is the age. This doesn't happen in preterm infants. This happens in term neonates. So the most important key is term neonates who are having a C-section and the chest X-ray shows fluid in the lung fissure, then their diagnosis is transient tachypnea of newborn. Fine? Are you with me till this? Okay, let's go into a little further. Since there is a fluid in the lungs, I think this is good for you right now. So let me catch up with another more detailed video about it. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.